Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for visiting the YouTube channel for bestbiblecommentaries.com. This video is part 1 in a series I'm doing called How to Save Money on Bible Commentaries. Maybe I should retitle it, How to Hopefully Save Money on Bible Commentaries. Biblical studies resources can be expensive. It's not uncommon for a book to be over $100. It's not uncommon for series to be between $500 and $1,000. But there are other approaches to building out your biblical resources library, especially your commentary section, that can save you a lot of money. So what I'm going to do in this video is show you 4 different ways that I save money on Bible commentaries. I am well aware that not every suggestion that I make is going to be equally applicable to every person watching the video, but I just decided that in this series to be exhaustive because I don't know who can do what. Basically, there'll be some people that can take advantage of one idea that can't take advantage of another idea. I'm aware of that, but I just wanted to try and help as many people as possible. Before I get into it, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and feel free to leave a comment or ask a question down below. One other thing I wanted to note before I begin is a few days ago, I did a post on my YouTube channel, not a video, but a post, and I asked people, what are the different ways you save money on Bible commentaries? So I've gotten some really good answers so far. I invite you to look at that thread, and I'm going to if you haven't contributed to that thread, I invite you to share any tips or ideas that you have, and I'm gonna look at that again as I make the other videos in this series to try and incorporate all my ideas and all the ideas that other people have to hopefully save some people money on Bible commentaries. All right. Number 1, and this is just going to be a real quick one because it's a very simple answer. It might surprise some of you to know that one of the most common questions I get on my channel is, where do you buy Bible commentaries? So I know from that question that there are people who are watching my channel that are very new to biblical studies, new to biblical studies resources, including commentaries. There are other people who watch my channel that have been pastors for decades, Christians for decades, and I'm aware of scholars and professors who watch my channel too. So kind of fun. I have to get creative in how I try and be helpful to all people at the same time, but it's an enjoyable thing. So the first thing that I would do in looking to buy Bible commentaries, and this is a very simple one, is look for any place that you can get them used. That includes in person and online. In the town where I live in a town of about, I would say it's 150 to 200,000 people, and in my town and in the outlying areas, I can probably count 6 or 7 different used bookstores. I don't know what it's like in your area, but that's what my area is like. And every one of those used bookstores has a section on Christianity, and a lot of them have different commentaries. There's a few that have programs where if I bring in my used books, I can get credit to the purchase of other books, new or used, and that really cuts down the cost on commentaries. So used bookstores, also thrift stores. Look in the book section of different thrift stores, like one that's near me that I check is Goodwill. There's a grocery store next to the Goodwill. So when I go to the grocery store, I just do a real quick check of the book section in the Goodwill and see if I see any resources that I want. I actually got a commentary in the NIGTC series. If you're familiar with this series, you know that new volumes in this series can be $60 or $80. Used volumes can go for $40 or $50, even when they're not in great condition. I found a commentary in the NIGTC series for $4 at a Goodwill. That's one of my best finds ever. By the way, let me know what your best find is ever, the one you're most excited about, in the comment section down below. But this is one of my best ones. $4 for one of these books, just because I have the habit of looking in that particular section. There are other, this is a very well-reviewed commentary, Joyce Baldwin, and this was $1.50. I found this one for $1.50. All of these I rank high on my website based on aggregate academic reviews. Joyce Baldwin's commentary on each of these minor prophets I rank high, and especially Zechariah. And so I got a commentary that by my assessment is based number 1 on academic aggregate reviews. That's Zechariah by Joyce Baldwin. I got it for $1.50. There's a different cover design. There's a newer cover design. This is the older cover design, but it doesn't matter to me what the cover design is. I'm happy to have it for $1.50. And if I did a trade-in with that bookstore where I got this, I can't remember if I did or not, but if I did do a trade-in, then that book cost me 75 cents. So that's one way. So that's the first way. So those are, brick and mortar stores. Online, the suggestions would be eBay, because you can find used books there. I've also had comments on that thread I was mentioning on my channel. Someone was mentioning Thrift Books. Is that the name of it? I think it's Thrift Books. Yes, Thrift Books, which also sells on eBay, but I think you can just go to the Thrift Books website. Thrift Books, Abe Books, ABE, abebooks.com, Amazon as well. But sometimes you can even find used books cheaper on these other websites than even on Amazon. So whether it's in person or online, look for used copies. I personally prefer used copies that aren't marked up and that aren't highlighted. I'm willing to pay a few dollars more to get a clean version. Maybe you're not. Maybe you don't have that preference, and you'll be able to find books even cheaper. So the first thing is just any place that used books are sold will often have a Christianity books, biblical studies resources as well. All right. So that's the first idea. Next idea is to do research, and when you come across a commentary that's expensive and you want it, do a little research to find out why it's so expensive. So this is a little bit of an anomaly, but I'm going to explain it anyway and then get to the tip that I have. This commentary, when I started taking notes for this video, so this was maybe a week ago, this commentary was listed on Amazon. The cheapest used price for this volume on Amazon was $295. $295 for this volume. On my website, I rank this as one of the best commentaries on the Gospel of Mark. So there's nothing wrong with the volume. But $295, you can buy an entire commentary set in some cases for $295. So when I come across something like that, and I also looked on eBay, you can look at the latest sales on eBay. And again, there weren't that many examples. I think there was one for a couple $100. So obviously there's something going on in the marketplace when this commentary is $295. So what drives up the price? It's the supply is low. It's basic economics, with the supply being low and the demand being high, because different online resources like my website and different books that talk about Bible commentaries rank this volume very high. So the demand is there and the supply is not. And that's what drives up the price. Now, not every commentary that has a price that is just shoots through the ceiling has the same high price for the same reason. If you haven't seen my Peter O'Brien videos, or my video on Peter O'Brien commentaries, I invite you to watch that. I think the marketplace is pretty much set on Peter O'Brien commentaries. There's some of them that are always going to be $100, some of them that are always going to be $200 because they're not being republished. In this particular case, this is a Baker publication. I reached out to Baker and I asked them, I mentioned, I see this volume is going for several $100s on eBay. It's being listed for almost $300 on Amazon right now. What can you tell me about it? And they responded and said that the volume isn't available right now. It's going to be available in mid-November. So I'm not exactly sure what exact date in November this video I'm making right now on YouTube is going to be published. I think maybe around mid-November. So this might be available through Baker in mid-November for the regular price, probably between $40 and $50 new. Eventually, that'll drive the price of the used copies down, because who's going to buy a used copy for $300 when you can buy a new copy for $40 or $50? But for whatever reason, there is a gap in the supply from Baker, and that temporarily drove the price up. So it might be, I know that they're rebranding, or the cover design is changing for this series, and maybe there's a revision in store as well. So we'll just have to see when the new version comes out. But the tip is to really understand, if you want a resource and it's really expensive, to understand why it is. Do some research as to why the price is high. One page that people visit a lot on my website is the article that I wrote on Peter O'Brien and the plagiarism allegations against him. And what I can tell from that is people are trying to find out, why are Peter O'Brien commentaries sometimes $250 or $150, which, if you're not familiar, that is not an uncommon price for his commentaries. And I explain in the article that there's not going to be any new versions of Peter O'Brien commentaries coming out because of the accusations. And so I think the market for those is pretty well set. The market for this is not set. It's just a temporary blip. And so the idea is just to do some research, and just doing simple Google searches will give you information most of the time as to why a commentary is so high. And in this case, instead of paying $300 or $200 or $100, just wait a few more weeks, or wait till mid-November, and you'll be able to get it for $40 or $50. All right, the next idea is commentary programs. I think this commentary programs might be a good topic for its own video. Maybe I'll do it in this series, actually. But right now I'm just going to explain kind of the basics and just use the IVP New Testament Commentary Series as an example. So a commentary program is when a publisher offers a subscription service to a commentary series, and buyers can usually save quite a bit of money when they do one of these programs. In this particular case, so this is IVP Academic is the publisher of this series, and the program design is that a subscriber gets 2 new volumes of this series every month for $25.98 for both. So it's a $13 average with free shipping. You get 2 volumes in this series every month, and then your subscription ends when you received all the books in the series. So this series is 20 volumes in length. So for 10 months, you pay IVP $25.98, and they send you 2 volumes in this series until they've sent you all 20. The benefit is that at the end you get the entire series. You get it covers all 20 volumes, cover all 27 books of the New Testament, so you'll have the entire set. You'll only be paying on average $13 for each volume. So let me give you a couple of examples. If you buy this new on Amazon, as of the making of this video, if you buy this new on Amazon, this volume's $26. Romans is $26. Luke is $33. A couple others that I wrote down: Matthew is $32, John is $27, Acts is $27. So IVP says that if you sign up for this commentary program, this subscription service, in the end you'll save 60%. You'll save 60% on the series as a whole, and have new copies. So it's not up to Amazon. These commentary programs are not something that Amazon does, or other like ChristianBook.com. They don't do it either. This is from the publisher. So in this case, it's IVP, and there are other IVP commentary series where they have a program like this. I think right now I'm going to tentatively plan on doing a video on which series are available in a commentary program, and then talk about how much money you can save, how much it costs every month. So I'm just going to kind of pencil that in for the future. But I don't think a lot of people know about those commentary programs, but it's a great way to save money if you're willing to make that commitment of however many months the program is. All right, the fourth idea for this video, and this maybe applies to pastors and maybe seminary students, anybody who has an online presence where they can review books. Christian publishers are generally pretty open to sending people books for free when they will write a review and share it with an audience that they have. So it could be a social media audience, it could be a website, that's, YouTube channel, actually. Things that I'm doing would be examples. But you have to apply, you have to reach out to the publisher, and you have to apply and say, this is what I'm doing, here's a link to what I'm doing, here's about how many people that I can reach. But if you're willing to write a review, then sometimes the publishers will send you volumes for free. So a lot of churches have websites, and pastors sometimes have a blog on the website. That could be an idea. I don't know what a publisher would say about that, but you could apply and try and interact with somebody and see if that would work. I know seminaries, I know seminary students that start blogs as well, and they review books, and they might do other things too, talk about ministry or talk about seminary. But one of the things they do is talk about different resources that they're using. That might be an opportunity. It's hard to know, for sure until you try and just reach out to the publisher. But these 3 books right here, so one of the things that I used to do a lot is I used to interview authors. On my website, I have over 100 different interviews with scholars. And so I had an interview with John Goldengay, so I reached out to Baker, and they sent me this book. I had interviewed Ben Witherington, and Erdman's sent me this book. And I interviewed Mark Boda for this Zechariah commentary, and Erdman's again sent me that volume. So I understand that's not going to be applicable to everybody, but I think I know that pastors and seminary students are among those who watch my channel. So and maybe somebody else has a website or a YouTube channel where they can do that kind of thing. What you got to do is just reach out to the publisher. Usually you're looking for a section on the website that says media or review copies, something like that. And I've been doing this for a few years now, and so maybe 4 or 5 years now. And so I've kind of got to know some of those people. So, but if that's of interest to you, maybe you can do that too. And that would be a way that you can get some volumes. Sometimes people ask me, you have so many books. Yeah, well, I get them used, and I get a lot of them used, and I get a lot of them for free. So, it's just kind of what you're willing and able to do. So those are the 4 ideas for this video. Check out that thread on that post that I made the other day on the channel for some other ideas, and I'm going to share some more in the second part of this video that'll come out next week. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.